Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. so, I am just going to chat a little bit about my weekend while I wait for more people to come on. So, I had um, a lovely weekend last weekend. We went to Alton's Towers. So, my husband is back in town from Canada, and we all went to Alton Towers for the weekend. It was lovely. It was exhausting, but it was lovely. It was great family time. Kids loved it. Loved it. So that was my exciting weekend. How have you been? So today I wanted to talk about 5 reasons why you must succeed. You must. You must. I remember reading a discussion on social media recently, and some people were like, "Ooh, I want a really good blog post or article about why, as Christians, we should be one of those who are ridiculously successful, earning good money and things like that." And I was like, yeah, I think we should be. And I really wished I could just write a blog there and then and give it to them, because I feel strongly about it. And I actually wanted to title this 5 Reasons Why You Must Be Financially Successful. But I know that some people may be turned off. They might say this is prosperity message, and no, you don't need to be. So I decided to change it to 5 reasons why you must be successful, or even God's heart for your success. But truly, I think, hi, Adun Boss Lady, travel agent. Hello. And I don't know who's watching on Facebook actually. Will you, or is it YouTube? Will you do me a favor and let StreamYard share your details with me, or just post in the comments and let me know who's watching? But I I think it's a shame when we are not bold enough to say or to even desire that we want to be financially successful. Because let's face it, um, when you are financially successful, there's blessing in that, and everyone around you shares in a blessing as well. So your family, your spouse, your children, even your neighbors, your extended family are better for it. I don't know why there's a little bit of discomfort in talking about it. It's a bit sad. The people who boldly talk about earning well financially tend to not be Christians, or they don't really boldly say they're Christians. And they do it because they want to show people that they can teach them how to do it. But there are so many reasons why God actually expects us to do well. And I thought I will just talk about a couple of those reasons today. So, thank you for saying that's good. I still don't know who, I don't know who the lovely comment is from. So, will you let me know? And what was good about it? What did I say that was good? Okay. So, the first thing I want to talk about is that verse in Genesis 1. So, in the very first chapter of the Bible, when God creates Adam and Eve, the Bible says God blessed them and said, "Go, dominate, be fruitful, take control, take dominion over your environment." So essentially, go rule and reign, go dominate. That was among the very first things God said. So, as Christians who are the children of God, we are meant to reign and rule. We are meant to be successful. We are meant to do well. Why? Because God sent us to do that. When he made us, he said, go and do this. That's essentially one of the reasons why we are here, to take charge, to rule over our environments. One of the first things God said to man, one of the first things God said to you. In other words, he gave you every single thing that you could ever need to do well. You just need to open your eyes and see these things. Yes, absolutely. Adam Boss Lady has said it's actually good that Christians should show off wealth because that's us being successful too. I don't think there's any shame in that. I don't think there's any shame in that at all. And there's so many reasons why we need to, why God expects us to. Okay, so reason number 2. I love this verse. It's one of my favorite verses in the Bible. Deuteronomy 8:18. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. God gives us the power to make wealth. He gives you the ideas. He gives you the ability. He gives you the contacts, the connections. He gives us all that we need to make wealth, to produce wealth. Yeah, is this good so far? Number 3, I love this verse. Psalm 50:12. For the world and all it contains belong to God. Yes, Teresa, our financial blessings are a sign to the world that God is with us. Absolutely, it is. It shouldn't just be people who are doing really well financially or selling things online that are able to say that. We should be able to, people should be able to know that we are blessed, we are financially successful because God is with us. So I've talked about third reason. Everything in the world and all it contains belong to God. And who are we? Children of God, children of the kingdom, sons and daughters. We have all we'll ever need. There's a verse that said God has given us all that we'll need for life and godliness. Every single thing. Everything. Yes, we have all the resources we need. Thanks very much for that. We do. Now, I think, okay, yeah, there's one more verse now. I'll come to the story. So 2 Corinthians 9:8, God is able to make all grace, which is, we're back to resources, connections, the wisdom, the knowledge, the know-how. He's able to make all grace abound to us. And the reason for that is just amazing. So that we don't just have enough for ourselves, but so we have enough for others. We have the ability to bless people around us. We have the ability to give to our community, to give to those who are not as fortunate, not just for ourselves, but so we can be a blessing to others. Now, I think for me, the biggest convincing factor why I said you must be successful is actually the parable of the talents. The parable of the talents. Every time I hear that story or read the story again, there's some sort of holy fear that comes over me, because if nothing convinces you that God expects us to do well and to succeed, this story does it for me. So it's in Matthew 25, starting from 13. It talks about a wealthy man who went away on a trip, but gave over his business and all his holdings to some of his servants to care for, right? So he goes away. And then the story goes on to tell us what happens when he returns. So after many years, he returns, and then it says the person who had 5 talents had worked, had gained, had made some earning using the 5 talents. So he had doubled it. So when God came back, he said, hey, I used what you gave me and I produced 5 more talents. And what did God say? God congratulated him. He said, well done, my good and faithful servant. And he promoted him, he even gave him more blessing. And then the same happened for the other servant who had 2 talents initially. He worked hard, doubled it, and had more to give to God. And God said, well done, my good and faithful servant. And the last one, 1 talent, and he did nothing with it. He said, I knew you would want this back. I was afraid. I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to take a risk. I buried it. Here is your 1 talent. And what did God say? He said, the man was essentially wicked. Yes, Teresa. He said that was wickedness. Can you imagine? So what do you have in your hands? If you have a voice, if you have an ability to write songs, if you have a gift or talent with words, you know that you can pen stories or you can write beautifully, and people enjoy reading when you craft your words into an essay, into a blog post, into something beautiful. If you have a gift or an affinity or a skill that you know can be doubled, can essentially bring money in, that you can monetize, and you refuse to use it, are you being like the 3rd servant in the story? Because I think you are. So if you have a gift and you are not exploiting it to the best of your ability, your voice can be monetized. You can write, you can produce songs that will be a blessing unto your world. But then if you refuse to actually monetize it and look for ways to use it to bring money in, so you have more than what that gift that's the master left with you, you need to do everything that you can so you can have more to give back. Okay, everything you can. So monetize your gifts, money, anything you can. Because that's what God is expecting from us. That's what that story explains. That's what that story tells us. Hi, No. Welcome to Mentoring Thursday. We are talking about the parable of the talents and how God expects us to use our gifts to be a blessing to the world, but also to use our gifts to bring in more financial income, not just for us, but for our communities and for the people around us. Okay? Now, you might be listening and saying, okay, all is okay. That's all well and good, but how do I actually begin to do that? I don't know how to. Well, I'm planning an event next month, so you will be getting an invite to that event. However, for now, start off with what you have in your hands. So I am an artist, singer-songwriter, I'm a musician, and I am beginning to coach as well. Okay. Now, if you have anything in your hand that you can use to serve your community, but people can also find value in it and pay for that value, then that's something that you can start doing straight away. Okay. If you're saying, I don't know how to start monetizing it, well, I'll be teaching you that next month. But I want you to start noticing the things you have. So if you want to just take a piece of paper, a pen, or even your phone and start writing, what do you have? Your voice, a songwriting ability, an imagination that can help you write a thrilling story. something that you can. So, are you a speaker? Do people love it when you speak? Do you have a compelling and um and captivating charisma around you where you grab people's attention when you speak? Do you have, well, look around you? Like, seriously, look around you. Are you an artist? Do you paint? Are you able to market? Do you see things that people don't really see? You know, you see things that other people struggle to see. What else? Your education. What did you go to school to study? What what skill do you have? What can you monetize? What can you monetize? Start thinking about those things. And it could be anything. Like, people are earning money by teaching other people how to crochet. People are earning more money by planning different things. There are lots and lots of things that you can do. And remember, the master is going to come back at some point and he's going to ask you what you've done with what he gave you. So start thinking about, what are the things you have in your hands? What talents do you have? What affinities do you have? What do you have in your hands that can be a blessing to you and to other people? Yeah. Now, I'm going to be planning an event. It's going to be a 3-day event where we are going to learn about how we can monetize our passion, our gifts. All right. The dates for that event are going to be coming out real soon, so just keep an eye out for it. It'll be on social media. If you're on my email list, you'll see it in an email as well. Now, also, guys, if you are not on my email list, every time I go live on Facebook, it reminds you that you can get on my email list. You literally just download my free ebook and 7-day devotional, and by that you get on my email list, so you hear everything that's happening with me. A new single came out last Friday called Scars to Gold. I hope you've had a chance to listen to it. It was a real pleasure writing and recording that song, and it has such a beautiful message about how God can turn any unpleasant situations, any bad experiences you may have had, any difficult things that you might have gone through in your life that you might think have scarred you for life, things that you don't like to talk about, things that you want to hide, things that you want to forget. All of those things may have scarred you, and you don't want people to ever know that they ever happened to you. But how many of you know that God can actually not just bring healing, but actually those scars can be turned into gold? In other words, people can see that you got through those things and their lives can be changed, because maybe people are going through the exact same situations and they feel hopeless. They feel completely hopeless. They are at the end of the road. They do not think things will ever get better. And hearing that you got through it gives them hope. So go check it out if you haven't. I will put a link to the song in the comments. Go listen. And if you know people who you think it's going to bless, will you do me a favor and send it to them? The music video is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks as well, so I will post about that. But I'll be inviting you to come and listen to the music video and watch it with me as well. So keep an ear out for that as well. Hi, Holly. All right, so I'm going to sign off now. I hope this has blessed you, inspired you. I will see you next week, same time. By the way, also, people, if you haven't listened to the podcast episode that came out on Monday, do go listen to it as well. It's about songwriting. I talk with a songwriting coach who is amazing, and he had a lot to share. So I'm going to put a link to that as well in the chat. Have a lovely rest of the week. See you same time next week. Bye for now.